Community Reactions with 59 Gaming. It's your host Gail Wright here today to go over your guys' thoughts for the Saiyan Day 2023 celebration, and I cannot wait to see what you guys have to say down below in the comments and replies of our tweets. Now, of course, before we get into this video, I would like to say this is probably the best Saiyan Day we have gotten so far in terms of hype, I would say. Obviously, in previous Saiyan Days, we've had stuff like, Broly from the first movie. We had, of course, Majin Vegeta last year, Bardock going Super Saiyan as well. So usually, Saiyan Day has given us some really solid units, but let's be real. Godku coming this celebration was something we've been waiting for so long. Specifically, this Godku, we've been waiting for at least 5 years. So everybody's hype was like sky high. But then, of course, the rest of the celebration came and everybody's opinions have become mixed. So what we're going to be going over is the tweets and replies you guys have posted under our Twitter at 59gaming. And then we're going to be also taking a look at our fellow 59gaming colleagues post at the Masked Ningen. I don't know why I said colleague as if he's not a friend of mine. My good friend Masked Ningen's tweet as well. We're going to be going over what you guys have to say under both of those tweets. So of course, if you guys are going to enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and of course, leave a comment down below as well, letting us know what do you guys think of the Saiyan Day celebration. Did you guys like it, dislike it? What do you guys think they could have done better? Do you guys think that there should have been something extra in terms of maybe an additional red zone or a new legendary Goku event or something along those lines? Let us know in the comment section down below for that. Now, let's go down below and see what everybody has to say here. I got SSG Goku Rainbowed and he's fun as hell to use. Other than that though, not bad but not great. Yeah, so I mean, if you take a look at the Saiyan Day celebration, right? I'm expecting the editor to just start pushing stuff on the screen right now in terms of what we got. But we got like a load of EZAs, but most of them ended up being unusable, to be quite honest, especially units that people were extremely hyped for, like STR Rage Vegeta. Ended up becoming very poorly made, to be quite honest. So we had a bunch of EZAs, we had IDBH, we had Chain Battle, we had a Burst Mode, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So we had a couple of different things coming out, but the thing is, right, the way they paced it, and I think that's one of the problems of this celebration, was that everything just came out at once and then there was nothing. Literally just nothing, right? It's great to have a great new unit, right? I think everybody is super happy that we finally got a God Goku, and especially a God Goku that's really good, at least top 3, if not the top unit in the game. But the problem is, right, is if you don't have the content to supplement it, that becomes a bit of a problem. And obviously the content was there, you could say, but it was just too jammed into one spot. Sort of similar to if we go back in time and go back to, the 2020 worldwide download celebration when we got STR Vegito and physical Bootangs, right? A lot of the content was in the pre-campaign for the celebration, and then there was nothing in the campaign itself, right? It's very similar to that, I feel like. Good celebration for only a short one, lots of EZAs, tons of stones, and a great headline character. Only thing missing is hard content, but overall really good. I think I agree with that. At least there were a lot of EZAs. Yes, were most of them unusable outside of maybe like STR God Goku, Int Whis, and LR Beerus and Whis. Sure, but at least we managed to get a load of stones. I think there were 3 EZAs in total, right? So you had, well, technically 2 new EZAs, and then you would have to form the Int UI Goku stage to get the old EZAs done. So, I mean, there is that factor. Great headline character, absolutely agree. I think the fact that we had a great headline character, saved the celebration massively. If it was some random Saiyan, like say it was King Vegeta or Turbo, I don't think people would have been happy with the celebration whatsoever, honestly. Apart from getting all the feature characters, the celebration in a while was lame, boring, and just meh. I don't really like these joint celebrations, and it's no wonder I reroll one of my side accounts until Global is separated from JP. Fair enough. Majority of the EZAs were fumbled, no content, so otherwise than the amazing Dokkan Fest and Banner Unit. And if you didn't pull them or Vegeta, have fun doing nothing. Now, I agree with that. I think that's one of those things that happens regularly in Dokkan though, I feel like, because every celebration, and the thing is, Saiyan Day is yet another celebration, even though it's touted as being something bigger. I would argue to say that Golden Week, New Year's, Worldwide Download Celebration, and Tanabata, as well as the anniversary, are just far and away bigger celebrations than Saiyan Day. Saiyan Day is just a joint celebration, but if you look at the past years, right? If you take a look at the past years, I would argue to say this is probably a bit of a better celebration than the past Saiyan days, but that's not much of a high bar to beat, to be quite honest. It's not a high bar to beat. So I would say that there is a little bit of a problem there where Saiyan Day ends up being expected as some big celebration, but realistically speaking, we always tend to get a little bit disappointed with the celebration in some way, shape, or form. I think sometimes there is always one thing that makes it seem very exciting. Like for example, when we got Broly, right? We had the EZA for STR Broly, and it was I think it was our first. Well, for JP, it was their second summonable LR EZA because they obviously got Tech Goku and Frieza. But for Global, it was their first summonable EZA. So everybody, first LR summonable EZA, that is. So it was so much more exciting, so much more hype, right? And as a result, everybody was super excited about that. But then, of course, you realize that the rest of the game, the rest of the content in the game wasn't that much. There was no follow-up on it, in all honesty. So I would say that's one of those things that it's unfortunate that Saiyan Day is a joint celebration, but if you take a look at it, it feels like a regular celebration outside of the extra amount of EZAs they gave out, and even then the EZAs they gave out weren't exciting. I think if the EZAs might have been better, maybe then probably people would have been a bit more excited, but I think at the same time, I think that hard content addition is always, I think it's going to become a must for upcoming celebrations so that people can have something to do. Otherwise, it's just a case of like, okay, IDBH has come, we cleared it, and then it's just burst mode and chain battle usually that will fall up in all of these general celebrations. Like, for example, I would say that the next celebration we're getting with Kale's Dokkan Fest exclusive, right? I want to say that it's gonna be a very high chance that what it'll have is EZAs, of course, right? We will probably have a chain battle yet again or something like that, or a world tournament depending on what it is for JP. I think, is it time for another world tournament on JP? I don't think so because we just had one for anniversary. Let me know in the comments if you play JP and you guys think that there is a world tournament scheduled soon. But then you also have like probably burst mode. We're gonna get a burst mode again. I think that's something that they're doing more often, which is really good. Burst mode is fun, to be quite honest. So I'm a-okay with burst mode. So it's gonna be that pretty much, right? It's not gonna be like they're gonna add a legendary Kale event or something along those lines, right? So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Saiyan Day should be made bigger and better, or should it just be now known as a good joint celebration, but they're not gonna do anything supremely extra for it, right? Let me know in the comments. I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. It's average, it's not bad, but it's not good either. I like burst mode, pretty solid, W, and boring. So everybody is like a little bit mixed. Some people like certain parts of it, like people like the EZAs, the fact that there were a lot of EZAs even if they were bad. People like the fact that burst mode was there, which is really, really nice. And overall, it's just average. Everybody's in the middle of the ground. Some people are liking it, some people are disliking it. It just averages out and means out to middle of the ground. So let's take a look at Ningen's tweet as well. Of course, he's done his own community response video, I assume, so go check out that one as well. But he's a good friend of ours, so we're gonna take a look at his tweet as well and see what everybody has to say here. Worst pace celebration in the game's history, Lamau. I think I agree with Annie here, in all honesty. I do think pacing wise it could have been done way better. Maybe the easiest could have been week 1. Heck, I think if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there like a 5-day gap between the events dropping and obviously the banners going live? It's really weird why they did that. Maybe if they dropped the units, maybe day 1 they could have probably dropped the EZAs as well, or they could have dropped IDBH so that people could summon and then use these units in IDBH. Then maybe a couple of days later EZAs come out, a couple of days later chain battle, and then obviously they could finish off with a burst mode or something like that, right? I think that could have been the best way to do it, to be quite honest. Sora over here says new unit equals good. I agree. EZAs equals not good for the most part, but like not giving some of that first SSRs that people have grown to love usable EZAs is kind of sad. I agree with this. I think whenever it's older units, right, a lot of people say like, oh, they're 2017 units or 2018 units, what did you expect? They're not going to be any good. But the thing is, right, yes, they released in 2017, but they're getting their EZA in 2023. There's a huge difference in that regards. Sure, if this EZA came out in like 2020 or 2019, I would have been like, fine, okay, makes sense, right? At the time, it would have been okay. But now you're in 2023, there are game modes that are extremely hard. You have to give them the EZAs they love and they deserve at this point in time. You can't give them EZAs that would have been good in 2019 and call it a day there, it doesn't make, that does not make any sense, and that's not a good enough excuse for them to give these older units subpar EZAs. Absolutely agree. Events equals average same day, I guess, not known for introducing any cool stuff. Absolutely agree. I think a lot of people, like I said earlier on, I think a lot of people feel like Saiyan Day is this big celebration, but I think the main selling point of Saiyan Day is the fact that it's a joint celebration, and of course, you know, it's Saiyan Day. That's the thing. It's got a name to it, right? It has that name attached to it. But if it was any other generic celebration, everybody would have been like, it's okay, it's fine. But the fact of the matter is, it's got that Saiyan Day name attached to it, so it feels a lot bigger than it actually is, to be quite honest. 6.5 out of 10, decent celebration. Parts I liked: new DF and banner unit, your Godku, LRB, Beerus, and Weirus. Int Weirus. Where did Int Weirus come from? Weirus isn't even a unit. Int Weis Easy A's. Okay, I agree with that. Parts I hated: not pulling a single featured in 450 stones. That's just dokkan, man. I think it was who? I think Minato, if I'm not mistaken, has put 1700 or 2700 stones and has only gotten one Godku, no Tech Vegetas, and a bunch of other featured units. I mean, like I said, I don't get their reasoning for not adding pity. They're saying that the coins are enough, but that's not a good enough reason. So I don't get it. Obviously, 450 stones is a little bit like, kind of expected because it's not that many amount of stones in the grand scheme of things, but I do get it. It is really unfortunate, and the fact that it's not a single featured unit in 450 stones is a little bit kind of damning, in all honesty. AGL Godku and Tech VCZA's chain battle. Classic chain battle. I don't know what they can do to improve chain battle, man. I think the problem with chain battle is that it's just too RNG. If it was a little less RNG, and the fact that it depended a little less on friends, I think a lot more people would be fine with it. But yeah, I mean, that's just how it is. 7.5 out of 10, but the best one yet. Overall, it felt like this was way more of a joint celebration, and Godku is a legit top 10 unit. The biggest gripe was the spread of content. Week 1, there was nothing. Then we got easiest IDBH, Chain Battle, and Burst Mode in 4 days. Could have been better. The easiest, which I felt were right in line with what I was expecting, but I do wish they made the sub-easiest slightly better, AGL Godku in particular, just for the SSB KK buff. But they were all right where I felt they actually be. LR Beerus and Whis are definitely as good as they should be. I agree with this. I agree with AC right here. I think the main thing is that it's probably the best Saiyan Day celebration we've gotten. But again, like I said, it's not a high bar. It's not a high bar whatsoever. I think, you know, in terms of, if you take a look at the previous celebrations and you go back in time, you watch maybe Truth's videos, our videos, Ningen's videos, Minato's videos, anybody's videos, right? You're going to feel a lot of it was very similar in that regards of like where, well, celebration is to be quite honest. It's nothing insane in all honesty. So I would say that's the main issue with Saiyan Day, is it feels like it's always been mid, to be quite honest. It always feels like it's mid. So again, I don't know what they can do to improve it. Maybe just starting to introduce new content, but the problem is you come in from anniversary already. It's like anniversary, we have a banner in between. Obviously this time around we had 17 and 17, Super 17 we had, and then of course now we have the Saiyan Day celebration. So obviously I feel like a lot of the hard content ends up coming out during Golden Week, and then of course during Tanabata, and then maybe around the time of the worldwide download celebration. We don't get anything in between those celebrations when it comes to hard content usually, right? Or just new forms of content. So yeah, it is very interesting. So let's scroll down and see what some other people have to say. Amazing celebration. So this is a very different opinion right here from GBO Concepts. Amazing celebration. Even if most of the EZA suck, it's still better than them just being dead units in your box. You can still use them for things like Battlefield and Burst Mode, which will be helpful. Beerus and Whis are amazing, and the new units are both incredible. 10 out of 10. Very interesting opinion right here. Of course, he's looking at it from more of a unit perspective rather than the other parts of the content, which I can understand as well, because if you take a look at Dokkan and their celebrations, usually the main focus is on the units, right? The content is nice and all right. You tend to get like a new EZA, which obviously is a new unit technically. Basically, you're getting for free if you have the unit, of course, right? But then, of course, if you take a look at the other contents we usually get, it's just Chain Battle, World Tournament, or IDBH or Boss Rush or something along those lines. Boss Rush is now usually only for anniversary and joint celebrations or big celebrations like Tanabata and Worldwide Download Celebration. But if you take a look at the average celebration in Dokkan, it's always just banner, EZAs, Chain Battle / Burst Mode / World Tournament, and maybe an IDBH or something, right? And a Battlefield, of course, right? Battlefield as well. So I think that's one of those things where you have to just look at the units primarily and see if they're any good. But the thing is, if you don't pull the units, well, the celebration is not going to be much exciting to you, to be quite honest. It's not going to be exciting anymore. So there is that factor as well, unfortunately. There is that factor as well. Honestly, we'll take a look at Soul and see what he says. Honestly, probably the best one so far. Despite it only being a 2-week celebration, I felt that there was a lot of content they dropped. Unpopular opinion, but I happen to like Chain Battle and Burst Mode. It adds a fun twist to the game, for me at least. Okay, that's absolutely fair. I think one thing to point out, and that's a fair point, is that it's only a 2-week celebration. We started on the 18th, right? The 18th of March. And it's wrapping up on the 31st and 1st, around there basically, right? Because Kale should drop on Monday most likely, I think, right? Monday is when it should drop. So yeah, I think it's very interesting to see what he thinks about it. I think the fact that he thinks that there was a lot of content they dropped is pretty cool. I think I agree with him. There was content dropped, but maybe pacing it out better, maybe spreading it out a little bit better probably makes much more sense for sure. Solid celebration, but the easiest were mostly disappointing. 6 out of 10 from Demoni. Damn. I think average to slightly above average is about right, I would say. It's about right. Let's take a look at 2 more thought processes and see. Although I didn't pull him, it was a decent celebration. I really enjoyed the hints and stuff leading up to the reveal of Godku. All the EZAs were nice, even though most of them aren't usable, and the content was spread out very good. Very interesting that Jason thinks the content was spread out pretty good, considering a lot of people felt like everything just came out within like the span of 4 days basically. Very interesting. I do agree. I think that they need to do more of this sort of stuff where they, lead in with hints and, hints and sort of teasers basically. I think that's one thing Legends does really, really well with their teasers and stuff. Like, for example, Legends recently, right? They did the whole Capsule Corp thing, the Capsule Corp image, and then, of course, a green background. And then, of course, they had Cell's tail, the sucky thing. Sounds really weird for me to say that, but Cell's sucky thing, where he absorbs Android 18, right? I think that was really cool, and I think Dokkan needs to do more of that. Maybe having a hint towards Kale, maybe having hints towards whatever the Golden Week celebration is, which they will probably have hints towards Golden Week. But doing more stuff like that, I think even for the general celebrations, is something that they need to do more of. Absolutely agree with that. I think the hints and teasers are always a lot of fun, assuming nobody leaks before the reveal and just ruins everybody's fun, I think it's always very, very nice to have some hints and teasers, to be quite honest. Bad to at best mid. For the fact that Saiyan Day is a big celebration, it was poorly done. Just to name one annoying fact, all the Dokkan events for the featured units were not open permanently. That's an issue. That is a fair point to make. Besides Godku, and also the new content to play dropped 1 week after the banner. Yeah, I agree with the points there. I just think that Saiyan Day, can you call it a big celebration now? That's the real point here I think we have to talk about, is whether or not you can actually call Saiyan Day a big celebration now, because every year we feel like it's going to be a big celebration and then we end up being disappointed. It feels that way at least. I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering, maybe I'm just forgetting how good certain celebrations were, but you guys can let me know what you think. But yeah, it seems like everybody is just around the same point, where some people are fine with it, some people are mad about it and disappointed with the celebration. I mean, if we scroll over, you could see like what you guys think, and yeah, and let me know what you guys think down below in the comments as well. I'm very curious to see what you guys think. Do you guys like the celebration? Do you guys dislike the celebration? And of course, you guys can let us know what you guys think of the upcoming celebration as well, the Kale Dokkan Fest exclusive. I'm very interested to see what you guys have to say down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's been Gale Ride. You're watching 5-9, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.